Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much. I just wanted to speak on the latest situation and development with regards to evacuees. First of all, I understand with regards to evacuees in the United Kingdom that they have been made aware through a publication from the High Commissioner of the United Kingdom here in Abuja, that there will be 2 or possibly 3 flights coming into the country to evacuate British nationals. As you know, of course, the last time there was such a flight, we were able to have our people in the UK board that flight coming here. The situation with the flights now coming is that the UK government, which is effectively chartering these planes, in the contract that they have with those companies, there are provisions not to carry anybody coming to Nigeria on that first leg. So their contract is only to carry passengers going from Abuja, from Nigeria to the United Kingdom. So it will not be possible. But furthermore, it also would not have been possible because the plans that we have in place is to use a Nigerian carrier to evacuate Nigerians from all the countries around the world where we have an evacuation operation, unless it is absolutely impossible to do so. So the plan that we have and still have is that at such a time where we evacuate from the UK, that hopefully we'll be able to use a Nigerian carrier. Then the other thing is that, as you know, up to now, everybody that's coming into the country has to be quarantined for 14 days. These evacuees have had to be quarantined for 14 days at a hotel designated by government, and all the medical requirements would have been in place in respect of those hotels, undertaken by the medical authorities here. Now there's going to be a change to that procedure and that protocol, and that is going to affect the timing of any further evacuation we're going to undertake. Essentially, we will have a situation, we hope soon, thanks to, and again express our profound gratitude to Aliko Dangote and others in the private sector, have testing units put at airports. The medical people can, correct me or add to it, and so anybody that is going to be evacuated will first of all have to undergo a test from the country that they're leaving from at least 5 days before travel and not later than 9 days before travel. That will be a precondition for boarding the flight to come to Nigeria. So a pre-flight test. And if they're positive, of course, they will not be able to get on the flight. If they are negative, they can get on the flight. But arriving in Nigeria, Abuja or Lagos, Aliko Dangote and his other partners will have in place these units where they will take samples from the passengers coming off the plane, and they will retain the passports of the passengers, and the passengers, and this is the big difference now, will then be able to go home and not into a prescribed hotel to self-isolate. Results from those samples would then be available within a day or two. And those who are positive, of course, will be taken in for isolation into isolation centers. And those who are negative will then have to spend more days to complete the 14-day period, after which they can come, collect their passport, and go their way. But as I said, all this will be taking place in their own premises, under self-isolation. So the whole issue of quarantining in hotels will no longer be necessary. This will probably also mean that we can be, more people will be able to come back, hopefully. The frequency of, of the evacuations, and it'll be, a lot easier and less wieldy than it has been up to now. So, what we've been asked to do essentially is to suspend all evacuations for now until this new structure is put into place, and hopefully, we're very hopeful that maybe by next week we should be able to commence evacuations. But as I said, the fact that isolation at home, and then the possibility of now going to Lagos, as the large number of evacuees prefer to go to Lagos, we believe that should make things also much easier for all concerned, including the evacuees. And then maybe just an update. I'm sure some of you have, or most of you have seen in the media, after the evacuees from Saudi Arabia, who are still now going through their quarantine, we also, in cooperation with the government of Lebanon, were able to evacuate, in total, actually 69 Nigerians, 50 trafficked Nigerian girls from Lebanon, and 19 other Nigerians, and they all arrived safely and are in quarantine. We again, express our thanks to the government of Lebanon for helping to facilitate this, and also the Lebanese community in Nigeria, who actually funded the cost of the flight and cost of hotel for the 50 trafficked girls. And I think that this was obviously showing also their disapproval of a lot of what has been happening in their country with respect to these trafficked girls. So they are now also in quarantine, and so far so good. And then the other batch of evacuees, you recall the batch from the United States, and the batch from the, I think it was the United Kingdom. We've also been able to return their test results, and they've all been able to now leave quarantine. And those that needed to go to Lagos, arrangements were made, and they were able to fly to Lagos. So all we have at the moment are the evacuees from Saudi Arabia and the evacuees from Lebanon. We know that there's a large number of Nigerians still waiting to be evacuated. In addition to London, of course, there's China, and that's been a real issue because the circumstances are ones that we're not altogether happy about. We've discussed that in the past. And it's a real priority for us to get all the evacuees back, but we know that those in China are facing very special challenges, and it's a real priority for us. And as soon as this mechanism is put in place, I would like to assure them that we will do everything possible to prioritize their return. Of course, we have evacuees from almost all over the world. We as Nigerians, we travel all over the world, and they're all priorities. The U.S. has a large number that are still wanting to come back, and of course the U.K., France, Turkey, Sudan, Malaysia, or Thailand. So we still have a lot of work to do. But this new mechanism, I think, gives us greater flexibility and will make it possible, hopefully, to be able to bring back more of our people without too much of the constraints. Because, of course, one of the major constraints in the past has been the limited number of hotel space available. But they will be able to come back as quickly as they can be tested on arrival at the airport. That's really the only constraint that we'll have in bringing them back. Thank you very much.